Good evening, all. Wild Weather for LiveWeatherBlogs.com, and coming up on 9 o'clock, and here's what's left of the radar here. Some showers still rotating around this upper level low that's centered right down in here in the lower Chesapeake Bay. Showers now, some of them heavy, moving from Lancaster into York County, moving straight west. We have a couple of showers left at Dover, moving toward Baltimore, and then in southern Delaware, just north of the Indian River Inlet, and the mouth of Delaware Bay, you have thunderstorms moving onshore, and there's lightning strikes with these. Lots of lightning as they move off to the west-northwest. A couple more showers getting ready to rotate across the Commodore Valley Bridge into southern Delaware County, and more getting ready to move toward the Delaware Memorial Bridge, heading toward Bloomington from Gloucester, and Salem County. More showers and thunderstorms are poised out in the Atlantic, and this is the area where our thunderstorms this morning came from. It would not surprise me as the upper level low that's down here kind of swings around again. If these get bumped off to the north, you're getting the idea that there's some training trying to start set up here from the southern Delaware Bay, Rehoboth Beach area, and then Indian River Inlet up here, Lewis, Delaware. Rehoboth is down here. These thunderstorms look like they're getting ready to poise to train over the same areas, and you have to watch this. I mean, some of these rains are pretty heavy. We'll see how this holds together as it moves off to the west-northwest, and we'll see how far north this can get. Not thinking that they get into the Philadelphia proper area. They'll probably, as you see, the flow is going more east to west now. They'll probably continue to move off to the west, but I'm not sold yet on this staying to the south, because if you look up here, you got some more showers and perhaps some embedded thunderstorms out here in the Atlantic getting ready to move onshore in Ocean County here. And these may very well come across Philadelphia and Delaware counties in southeastern Pennsylvania and most of New Jersey in the next 2 to 3 hours. So we'll see how that happens with that. Any of these showers, what I'm noticing, even here in media, when the showers do come through, the rain does come down heavy enough, it does tend to get pretty gusty with the winds. Sometimes earlier tonight we had some winds gusting near 30 miles per hour with almost like a heavy or tropical downpour. And it leads me to my next point. Remember, the system is more of an upper level low, but embedded in this is that circulation left over for Karen. I'm calling this the ghost of Karen for a good reason. It's not a strong storm, but what you got is high pressure off to the northeast, causing a pressure gradient between the low, and it's a modest gradient, but it is enough to cause some 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts and very strong currents along the Jersey Shore of the beach erosion and high waves. So while the storm isn't particularly strong, the setup is such that a long duration event is causing tide after tide, and some flooding is certainly happening along the Jersey Shore, has happened, and will probably continue for just a little bit longer and then ease up as the storm gets shoved off to the southwest, and we'll take a look at that in a moment. So here's thunderstorms, a lot of lightning strikes out here in the Atlantic. This is all moving off to the west-northwest. You're in Delaware, southern Delaware, Kent and Sussex County. Look for showers and thunderstorms, where some of the rain will be heavy at times, and if it's heavy enough, it may cause some winds to come down from aloft down to the surface, maybe get 30, 35 mile per hour wind gusts. Some of these trees down here, the soil is getting pretty saturated now. Any winds over 25 up to 30 miles per hour could loosen some trees to come down, and it already happened up in Quakertown, as my friends reported that coming down from his home to our work here. So look for the streams. This pretty much will probably stay in the banks. They'll probably start coming down, but that's not the case out here in Harrisburg. Let me show you something about Harrisburg here out in the Susquehanna Valley. This area here, just east of Harrisburg, this is the lower Susquehanna Valley. Here's Gettysburg, New Freedom, Lancaster, and York counties. This area, here's Harrisburg proper, picking up anywhere from 2.5 to upwards of 6 inches of rain. Some of these are underdoing it, but this area out here was the same area that was only coming up with on the GFS with a quarter to maybe a quarter inch of rain, a tenth of an inch, a quarter inch of rain. Well, obviously, that scenario in the GFS has failed. This is a lot of rain, and most of this rain occurred very early this morning and yesterday, and lots of flooding going on out here. The Susquehanna River's over its banks, going down toward the Maryland area. If you're out this way, I-83 was underwater yesterday evening. Heavy rain occurred yesterday evening, and then another round came through this morning with the thunderstorms that just kind of rotated in off the Atlantic. Let's take a look at the water vapor map. And there is the culprit. That is the upper level low. Remember, Karen was down here. Karen came across here. Again, we said would weasel out to sea, but I had my thoughts that maybe the storm would hang around, and it did. And whatever's left of that circulation, believe it or not, if you look here, this could be it here. It almost looks like a tropical cyclone signature here out in front of it. We'll take a look at that in a moment. But that very well could be what's left of the center of Karen. Um, and now we're just getting left behind with the upper level low. These two, if these two were to have come together, this situation would have been a heck of a lot worse. Let's put this in motion now and see what's going on. This is from handweather.com. Last website was weatherunderground.com. So you place into motion here, upper level low here, and look at the flow, folks, coming all the way from the deep tropical Caribbean all the way up and over the top and right onto central Pennsylvania and Susquehanna River Valley. This is the reason why I got all the rain. Dry air diving down across Florida. Dew points in the mid-60s down here. Pretty nice weather going on in Florida right now. And then here's your new blow up of thunderstorms. Right there are the thunderstorms that are developing just to the east of the Delaware Bay. And if you look at the flow, folks, this area of blow up right here, that's going to move on shore. And we'll see how far west it gets. You can see things are getting squashed a little bit from the northwest. We'll see what happens. But look at this here. On the eastern flank, there goes this little feature getting out of here. Once that gets out of here, look up here, you got a little cold front here that's slicing down to the southeast behind this low pressure system, which is probably a little bit of a remnant low of Karen. This comes down here, high pressure will build in, probably build across the New England area, and eventually should take this storm and squash it off to the south and west, and then it should bypass this way as the high pressure looks like it'll probably build in from the north and east. And then, if you look out here, let's put this in motion again. Very strong storm system here. Look at this. Almost looks like a hurricane, inland hurricane, cutting through the eastern Dakotas, moving due north. That'll move toward Hudson Bay, up and over the top of this ridge of high pressure that's here. That's right, folks. This is an upper level low trapped under the ridge of high pressure. This goes up and over the top. The cold front just limps through, and then models aren't showing it, but chances are, with a cold front stalled out here, negative NEO, probably going to get some kind of a development of a low pressure here. And my winter weather friends, it looks like a subtropical jet starting to get started here. I know it's early, but hey, I tell you what, here's that subtropical jet. High pressure eventually be replaced by low pressure again sometime next week, and we could be looking at another coastal storm next week. My weather friends, though, if this right here were happening in January with the high pressure in place, this would be a rainstorm here along the East Coast if this were January. But, however, things will probably change. This will go over the top of the ridge, and then we'll see another low develop here, and the bridge will probably erode away. But in any case, anytime, look off to the south and east. If you're in the Philadelphia area, look south. South Jersey, look south. You'll see some lightning in the next few hours. Look for some of the rains to pick up again, and some of the rains could be flooding over the next 3 to 5 hours. Should taper down around 3 a.m., but this should be the last batch. As you can see, the dry air is really wrapping around here. But right where the dry air is meeting this Milky Way is where the thunderstorms are developing tonight, and they'll continue to push off to the northwest. Again, here is Sussex and Kent County, Delaware. Get ready for some heavy rain, lightning, and some wind, and some of this rain could cause some ponding and flooding of low-lying areas and poor drainage areas, and some stream rises as well, especially if they train over the same areas. This is Wild Weather for LiveWeatherBlocks.com. Hope you all have a great night. If you're on the roads tonight, leaves are out, you're on the roads, be careful, it's slippery, the wind's still blowing and knocking them off the trees, and there are still a lot of puddles around. Jersey Shore, yeah, you'll continue to get the lashing waves and some coastal flooding as this storm will eventually wind down, get shoved to the south and west, then to the south and east as high pressure moves in from the northeast, and Sunday may be looking much better as we get some clearing from this feature here that's going to drive down the coast. This is LiveWeatherBlogs.com. This is Wild Weather. Thanks. Have a good night.